Good morning, botanists, or afternoon, or whatever the heck, or night, or whatever it is. We're going to learn about trees. And what we're going to do is learn basically 8 trees. And we're going to start with remembering about keys. So you'll recall that we had a way to make a key to these students, air quotes here, where we basically take a group of entities and divide them into two groups based upon a characteristic that are used to make up a dichotomous key, where the questions are in pairs. The pairs of questions are called couplets. Each individual question is called a lead. And so for our students, air quotes again, the presence or absence of teeth could divide them into two groups. Some aspects about the teeth could divide the toothed ones into groups. And whether or not we could see ears could separate the remainders into groups. And that's how we construct a dichotomous key, by splitting a group into two groups and having questions that correspond to that. So, surprise, trees don't have teeth, or maybe the leaves have teeth, but what we'd like to do is learn some of the principal features to distinguish trees from one another, and they have to do with leaves. There are three sets of features: leaf arrangement, and leaf complexity, and leaf margin. So let's take a look first at leaf arrangement. So leaf arrangement asks and answers the question, every place along a stem, so in this drawing this is a stem, that there is a leaf. Is there just one leaf or more than one? The place where a leaf is attached is called a node, and in this particular instance of what's called alternate leaf arrangement, there's only one leaf per node, and so the leaves kind of alternate. So if you're an ant on this leaf and you want to go to another leaf, you'd have to walk on the stem quite a distance before you got to the next leaf. And another way that leaves can be arranged is to have two leaves per node. So in that case, they're opposite each other. So the leaf arrangement is called opposite. And the ant has a short distance to travel. Nice for the ant. A third leaf arrangement is basically to have more than two leaves at a node. I sketched 4 in this instance, and that's called whorled. So whorled leaf arrangement is more than 2 leaves per node. Leaf complexity asks and answers the question, are the leaves fully and completely divided up into smaller parts called leaflets? So if they're not, that's simple. Here we have a leaf blade and a stalk. The stalk, by the way, is sometimes called a petiole, and this leaf is not fully and completely divided up into leaflets. However, sometimes a leaf can be fully and completely divided up into leaflets. Sometimes it's a little hard to tell. This is a branch, and this is a leaf, and these are parts of the leaf. A rose is like that. And this particular type of being compound, where the leaflets are arranged along the leaf stalk, sometimes called a rachis, as well as a petiole, is called pinnately compound. It's kind of like a feather. Pinnate means feather. And other type of leaf complexity has leaf fully completely divided up into leaflets, but the leaflets are all attached at more or less one spot. This is called palmately compound, kind of like it looks the way fingers come off of your hand, maybe, or like a palm tree, maybe. And that's another major type of being compound, another way in which leaves are compound. Oh, unfortunately, the photographer didn't get the whole thing in here, but I think I'll tell you about it anyway. If you have a leaf that's divided up into 3 leaflets 3, let it be, poison ivy's like that. Not leaves 3, let it be. Each individual leaf is fully and completely divided up into 3 leaflets. It's called trifoliolate. It gets a special name because you can see they're not exactly, they're all attached at one spot anyway, so it kind of looks like palmate, but or it's also like pinnate. It's a special case called trifoliolate. Finally, and this is sort of oversimplified for educational purposes, the edge of the leaf can either be pretty undistinguished, in which case it's called entire. There's a lot of different ways that leaf margins can be, many different subtleties that are described with botanical terminology. But for simplicity, let's have little small indentations that are sharp, be called serrate, not really a botanical term as such per se, but means toothed. Or we can have the margins be kind of broad and wavy in and out. So those are the features that are used to identify. Wait, I want to continue recording. What have I done? To identify trees. So what we have is sketches that I've made that represent some types of configurations of what trees can be. So you have this in front of you, I hope, or you could print it out, or maybe write on a tablet. Although for this activity, what we'd really like to be able to do is to have a piece of paper like this and be able to separate these physically, cut them apart into 8 little cards so that we can physically separate them the same way we did with our demonstration of how to key students. But let's draw our attention to, let's give them names. I can't think of any special names, so why don't we just use the same names that we used for the quote students unquote earlier, and Buddy, Bucky, Mabel, some randomly sounding names, what the heck. And so what we will do is take some time to label your drawings and sort of think in terms of what the characteristics are. Kind of a challenging one, for example, would be, what's the leaf arrangement of Wally? And you might be tempted to say opposite because the leaflets seem like they're opposite. That's not what we're concerned about. All of these drawings have a branch going across from lower left to upper right. So none of them have fewer than 4 leaves. None of them have more than 8, I don't think. And so these 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves on Wally are certainly alternately arranged because they're 1 at each node. They happen to be compound, pinnately compound as a matter of fact, with a whole lot of leaflets. Right below you'll see Andrew Jackson, also alternate, also pinnately compound, but not very many leaflets. Otherwise they're pretty similar, at least as far as the sketch is concerned. And I don't know if I meant for Annie to be lobed. You could call it serrate. It wouldn't make a big difference for the activity, and so those are some made-up trees, some made-up names, and what we would like to do is to construct a dichotomous key by separate them into groups and constructing couplets. Number one, couplet number 1. You don't have to start with anything in particular. With our key to students, we started with teeth, but we could have started with head projections. A lot of people like to start their keys to trees with leaf arrangement. It works pretty well. So if you want to start with leaf arrangement opposite, number 2, leaf arrangement alternate, leave that one blank, and just look at the ones that are opposite first, and make a dichotomous key to these trees, air quotes around trees, and after this, what we'll do is take a break and identify real actual trees with a key from a field guide. So hope you enjoy making a key. Thanks for listening.